Hi guys, today I'm going to be doing the example questions from 3.4 of your Year 11 Jacplus textbook. So there's two of them and they're actually pretty hard. So the first one, it says the owner of a gift shop imported a certain number of paperweights for $900. Okay, a certain number of paperweights for $900. So that already gives me a clue. This certain number I'm going to call X. They were pleased when all except 4 were sold for $10 more than each paperweight had cost to import. Okay, from the sale of the paperweights, the gift shop owner receives a total of $1,400. Okay, so let's back up there. All except 4 were sold for $10 more than each paperweight had cost. Okay, and this is key, each paperweight had cost. From the sale of the paperweights, the gift shop owner receives a total of $1,400. Okay, let's highlight that as well. That's important. Total of $1,400. How many paperweights were imported? All right. So look, let's break this down a little bit. So they're talking about the cost of each paperweight. So I'm going to say I'm going to write that in a maths way. Cost of each paperweight. Well, it's $900 in total, and it's a certain number. So if there was 10, you'd say 900 divided by 10. That would give you the cost of 1. If it was 12, you'd say 900 divided by 12. So if it's X, you'd say 900 divided by X. And that sort of is a good way, if you're not really sure how to deal with the pronumeral, you can just, put a value, give it an arbitrary value, 10 or 15 or whatever, and see what you would do. So that's the cost of each paperweight. Now, let's see, they were pleased when all except 4 were sold, okay, for $10 more than they had cost. Okay, so let's think about the number that is sold. Number sold. So the number sold is going to be, well, X, we've said the number of paperweights is X, so it must be X minus 4, because 4 are left over. Okay, so now we want to say, well, to do with the money that they're going to gain, or the revenue. So the amount that each is sold for. Well, we said the cost, it's going to be the cost of each one plus $10. So 900 divided by X, that's the cost of 1 paperweight. Then this is the amount, like the profit. So the amount that it's sold for is going to be the cost of it plus the amount that you're getting in profit. So it's 900 over X plus 10. All right, now let's see. So the revenue, or the amount of money that you get, well, that would be the number of paperweights sold times the amount it's sold for. So we've got that information all there. So the number of them sold, so if you sold 10 paperweights and each one was sold for $2, then you'd say 10 times 2. If you sold 15 paperweights and each one cost $5, you'd say 15 times 2. So you're multiplying those two things. So the number sold, there it is, it's X minus 4. And the amount it's sold for, we said 900 over X. So that's the amount it costs, plus $10. So if it costs $5 to buy one, then you'd be adding 10, so it'd be $15. If it costs $3, you're adding 10, it's $13. We don't know how much it cost to buy, so we don't know how many, we don't know how many we've bought, so therefore we don't know how much the cost of each is, but we're adding it to 10, so 900 over X plus 10. So let's now say, well, the amount of revenue that is gained is $1,400. So we can say 1,400 here. So now it's just a matter of expanding this and solving. So let's do that. So 1,400 equals x times 900 over x, so 900x over x. X times 10 is plus 10x. Negative 4 times 900x equals negative 3600 over x. Plus, or no, minus 4 times 10 is minus 40. So now we can say these can go. So 1400 equals 900 minus 40, which is going to be 860, plus 10x minus 3600 on x, and I'm going to multiply everything by x so I can get rid of the x in the denominator here. So I get 1400x equals 860x plus 10x squared minus 3600. So now I can divide everything by 10, so I'll do that. That's going to give me 140x equals 86x plus x squared minus 360. And look, now we'll just rearrange that and neaten it up. So it's null factor law, not 140x factor law, so we need it to equal 0. And that should be 86. It looks a bit messy there. So let's see, we get x squared minus 54x plus 360 equals 0. And now we're in a position where we can just use either cross-factorization or our CAS or quadratic formula or complete the square in order to solve for x. And look, this is a CAS question, so you can solve with CAS, but I think it's probably quite easy to cross-factorize. So let's see, negative 60 times 6, x times 6 is 6x, x times negative 60 is negative 60x, and indeed we get negative 54x. So then, well, x minus 60 and x plus 6 equals 0. And then, well, now we can just solve those. So x minus 60 equals 0. That means x equals 60. And x plus 6 equals 0. X equals neg 6. So remember, now we have to think what x is actually referring to. And if we look back, we said that x is the number of paperweights. So, well, you're not going to have a negative number of paperweights, so this one we can reject because it's outside of the practical domain. So we can say that, well, x is going to equal 60 there. And that will be that. So number bought, I think. Yep, imported. Bought. So number imported equals 60 paperweights. So there we go. Let's move on to the next one, and I think this one is also a bit tricky. It looks like we are going to be dealing with proportions here, or direct proportion. So look, it looks tricky, but actually it's not too bad if you understand what the direct proportion is referring to. So let's see, the volume of a cone is a fixed height is directly proportional to the square of the radius of its base. Okay, so the volume is directly proportional. So k is the variable that is usually used to the square of the radius of the base. So the square of the radius of the base we'll say is r squared. And then now we've got a bit of a formula there. When the radius is 3 centimetres, so this equals 3, the volume is 30 pi. So let's do that. 30 pi equals k, 3 squared is 9. So that means 9k is going to equal 30 pi. And well, that means k equals 30 pi over 9. Let's cancel that, we'll divide by 3. So we've just solved k to be 10 pi on 3. So this is not the answer, but it's an important bit of it, because now we know that our formula for the volume is going to be k, which is 10 pi on 3, times r squared. So v equals 10 r squared pi on 3. We've got a formula for the volume. So now it tells us to calculate the radius when the volume is 480 pi. So centimetres cubed. So I can just sub that in. I probably should have left it like this. And then now I just need to divide by 10 pi on 3. So if I divide by 10 pi on 3, that gives me 480 pi over 1. Keep, change, flip for division of fractions. So now I can cancel the pi's out and divide by 10. So I get 48 times 3. So I'm going to end up with 144 equals r squared. And then, well, let's square root both sides. We get r equals plus or minus 12 centimetres, but obviously you can't have a negative centimetres, so we're just going to go the positive. So the radius is 12 centimetres. And that's the answer for that one. And that is all the examples.